in identifying dengue vector breeding sites using street view images. And there are other examples as well. For example, it is also used in urban planning, criminology research, and for for sharing and discovering pictures on World Wide Web, etc. Though this method has issues and limitations as well, because every coin has two sides. One side is of success and other side is of failure. It also has similar challenges. For example, the challenge of data heterogeneity and noise levels, potential basis of data, ethics of data acquisition and use, etc. These are and we for this we required there are certain pre-requirements for crowdsourcing. For example, crowd's willingness to participate, whether he is well equipped with communication technology and or not. And there are other governing factors, for example, human capital, financial capital, and external environmental factors. These all determine and contribute in crowdsourcing. Uh, over the uh, over the years, mobile cellular subscription has improved, which has also shown a significant improvement in lower middle income groups, which shows that it can be utilized for data pooling. So we can see that there is a scope of crowdsourcing in near future. That is why we chose it as one. That is why the major researchers are also relying on it, and we chose this as uh, to study. Therefore, the purpose of our study is to analyze social media-based platforms for generating empirical responses for solid waste management, and to analyze if the crowdsourcing is effective in means of generating information for management and action planning. Uh, For this, we relied on three types of data sets. That is primary data, in which we use a structured questionnaire for collecting samples on various social media platforms. For secondary data, we relied on the data of MCD, and the third is qualitative secondary data that we obtained from various crowdsource based apps. From here, I would like Manu to overtake the PPT.
So, after analyzing secondary data, we found various preliminary evidences. The first is that municipal solid waste generation has been increasing over the years in Delhi. Second is the waste receptacles in various zones of Delhi is quite less in number in many parts. The third is that receptacles on per 10 square kilometer of area are less in number in various zones of Delhi, such as Nazafgarh, Narela, and receptacles in per 10 lakh population is also less. Another evidence we found is that the number of Safai Karamcharis per 10 square kilometer in MCD zones is less in Nazafgarh, Narela, Central, and South Delhi. With the with this data which we found, we analyzed that there is a huge gap between the total waste which is generated in Delhi and the total waste which is collected and transported. So it makes it sure that there are various unnotified dumping sites in Delhi. So the methodology of our study includes a primary survey using structured questionnaire, for which we utilized various social media platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, and Gmail. The targeted samples were Delhi residents. So this is the designated Facebook page which we utilized for crowdsourcing. To analyze social to analyze social media based platforms for generating empirical response, we did primary survey in which we found that the ratio of people approached and those who actually participated, which was very less. After analyzing the possible reasons, we concluded that the samples could not see the request, and some samples agreed for participation but did not actually participate. So Since crowdsourcing did not prove to be an efficient method in identifying unnotified dumping sites, we resorted to desktop based study in which we did social media.
Manu, you are not audible on this slide. Should I overtake?
Performance of existing
Uh, Excuse me, Manu, you are not audible. Should I overtake? All right
Yes,
then.
Mahima.
Thank you. Since we found that the survey that we did, it was our primary data, and it did not prove to be efficient. Therefore, we resorted to desktop-based study in which we are tapping data from social media, and in that we are analyzing the performance of already existing apps that work on the same model, that is of crowdsourcing. Since our model was on a very local level, there are two apps which are already existing on regional and national level. The regional level app is an app that was launched by Delhi Cantonment Board in January 2018. This works on the similar model, and it is installed by 10,000 plus people, and the rating is really low as compared to it should be. It is only 3. And other national level app is Swachhta app that was launched way back in 2016, and its installation is only 50 lakh plus, and the rating is 3.2. Uh, so this shows that there is a huge gap between the technology that is already there and the people who are accessing it. And this is all that we conclude here, and we therefore resort to do our study further, and we are continuing the study uh, further. This is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Maima. Um,
Mahima and Manu. It was an interesting presentation on a very hot topic of research because Delhi has become a very major dumping sites have become a very major problem for Delhi municipality as such. Uh, but I feel that, of course, when the lockdown is over, it's better that if you go to these sites and have a actual look at what is the problem and what are the issues. I think there are a lot of portals on which you can put on the inquiry of what people have put on the images of various websites. Even some newspapers like Times of India also have, citizen photographs, which basically shows various lumping sites at their locality. So it can also add to your work, those citizen aware citizen photographs which are there in different newspapers. You can also look into. It was overall a good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we'll surely do that. Ma'am, any other questions or recommendations that you would like us to do?
I think it was a nice presentation, and of course you can add up more components to it. And I would request other judges to please put in their queries. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Why the response rate is so low? I don't know the technical word for what you say out of the entire citizenship of Delhi. Only 10,000 people have uploaded this app. Uh, why, why is so low? Can you give me some reason? And if there is some breakup, I mean, in terms of economic group wise, is it uh, low among maybe higher income group or high among lower income group?
Sir, we are still analyzing the issue. Why is it installed very less? And since we can conclude one thing from our model that we used is that people do acknowledge to participate, but they actually do not participate. So we are still working on the project, and we'll surely come up to some conclusion.
Okay, thank you. Uh,
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I think we don't have any other questions. So we can move to the next team.
Thank
Next
you,
team.
teacher.
Okay.
I would just like to say one word. Thank you, teachers, for all the wonderful feedbacks and all the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, team. So we are moving ahead. Our next team, we have Pratyush Sinha, Analia MJ, Prashant Kumar, Vivek Kumar, and Utsav Raj. And their topic is Role of Social Media in Disasters, a comparative study of Bihar and Kerala.
which group is this?
So group number 9, team
Okay,
number
thank
9.
you. Okay, thank you.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Just a second. An opportunity lies in the middle of a crisis. A very pleasant afternoon to one and all present over here. My name is Pratyush and I'll be delivering the research work on the topic Role of Social Media in Disasters, a comparative study of Bihar and Kerala on behalf of my team. Before delving deep into the presentation, let's talk about the takeaways. So in this presentation, we'll be talking about the methodology, the project timeline, the findings, and then finally concluding this presentation by talking about the recommendations. So the objective of our research was to analyze the effectiveness of social media in different stages of disasters, in pre, during, and post-disaster stage. Also, we wanted to identify whether literacy has any effect on the uses of social media or not. Because if we see Bihar and Kerala, these two states are diametrically opposite on the literacy front. So our study area was generally Bihar and Kerala. The methodology that we used are personal interview, survey, focus group, desk research, and comparative analysis. The project timeline was divided into 3 phases. The first phase was completed by October 10, 2020, and the second phase was concluded by January 10, 2021. The third phase was concluded on January 26, 2021. So let's talk about the findings, which is actually divided into 3 different stages: the pre, during, and post-disaster stage. So before delving deep into that, these are some screenshots of the online interview that we conducted with the residents of Bihar and Kerala. There were some experts as well who are actually working with the NGOs and all. So in the pre-disaster stage, what we have found that a very less number of people of Bihar have actually access to the smartphone. So the social media things come only when the people use a smartphone. Also, we have found that the government officials also started using social media very lately. And something which we have found common in both Bihar and Kerala was that the governments are now promoting their government portals, their social media handles through newspaper. Also in Kerala, we have found that the timely information was actually disseminated by government from quite a long time using social media. These include informations like wind direction, water level of dams, and all. So these are some of the clippings of Kerala State Disaster Management Authority of they are forecasting about the district rainfall. Now let's talk about the during disaster stage. So in Bihar, what we have found that social media is not very effective when there are disasters like flood, when there is infrastructure loss, because there's a lot of problem when such disasters come. There is the electricity cut and all. But in the corona time, in the COVID pandemic, we have found that the government is actually excelling like greatly. They are using apps like Garur, which made a record of tracing more than 2 lakh migrants. Also, the Bihar government has recently won Digital India Award 2020 in innovation under pandemic category for providing financial assistance to more than 21 lakh stranded workers. In Kerala, what we have found that in the Corona time, in the COVID pandemic, the government has launched Break the Chain awareness campaign, in which they are actually conveying important social messages with the medium of cartoons. Also, our interviewee have testimony that Amita Kripa an app was uh, uh, effectively carrying out a lot of relief work in the during disaster stage, and it has also helped in raising funds and also in the post disaster stage. uh, a very important finding of ours was a Facebook page named Kerala Plus 2018, which shared relevant information in Kerala Plus 2018, and it is also recently very active. So these are some of the clippings. So this talks about Corona Sahayata app, and this is the Garur app, a clipping of the Indian Express, the Twitter handle. This is Amita Kripa. The rating is also very good. This is some information that is disseminated through Kerala Flood 2018 page. These are the posters that I was talking about. That these posters are in the local languages, which talks about the importance of wearing mask and also the vulnerability of COVID-19 to the hurt patients. So this is a clipping of a post by KK Salaja teacher, who is actually the current health minister of Kerala. Also, now talk about the post-disaster stage. What we have found that the government are now using social media to aware people of the relief funds. They are also making people aware of the precautionary measures that they need to take for the future disasters. Also, we have found that the various NGOs were really active in the relief work, in raising donations and all. In Bihar, NGO named Gunj was very active. It is also testimonied by the people we interviewed. Also in Kerala, we have found that a Seva International NGO was working really hard. It has also raised more than 10,000 US dollars in Kerala plus 2018, which was like commendable. The people have also said that their groundwork was actually that well as well. Also, after the Kerala plus 2018, the government has launched a number of apps to rebuild Kerala, some of which include uh, uh, Kerala Disasters Alert. Also, we have found that the government has taken a giant leap towards e-governance, which is completely visible from the government sites, because they have added an e-governance page, e-governance portion into the websites. So these are some clippings. This talks about Indian NGOs raises over this. This is a clipping for Seva International. This is the app Kerala Rescue Alerts. This is the Bihar Digital India Awards, and this is the Sanjeevan mobile app, which was launched by Bihar Health Department in this COVID pandemic. So now let's talk about the literacy and smartphone penetration rate. This bar graph clearly shows that Bihar is way behind in the smartphone penetration rate, or even in the literacy in comparison to Kerala, which clearly which clearly establishes a relationship between literacy and smartphone penetration rate. When we are moving towards e-governance, it is very important for people to have an access to the smartphone. So this is something on which we need to work also. Let's talk about the teledensity. So then what is teledensity? So teledensity is just the number of telecom connections that we have per 100 inhabitants. So right from 2008 and behind, we can see that Kerala is way ahead in this as well. So this is something on which we need to work upon as well. Now let's talk about the recommendations, because we are here not to discuss the problems, but to find challenges, but to find the solutions of the problems. So our first recommendation is to recreate the information dissemination structure once again, so that we can have an effective medium of communication in different verticals at times of disaster. So this is an ideal information dissemination structure according to us. At the helm of which lies the government and how they are using social media. So then this evacuation process. Also, our second recommendation is to enhance free public Wi-Fi facilities. So this is something which comes from our interview, because one of our interviewee said that they would appreciate if the government can able to provide free data packs. We understand that providing free data pack is not very feasible, but the government is actually working towards providing free public Wi-Fi facilities. There are a lot of ongoing projects, and we just that when we are moving towards e-governance, it is very important for us to increase the pace of these projects. Now, these are the references, and I would just like to conclude my presentation by adding a line ahead of what I said at the start. An opportunity lies in the middle of a crisis. Let's take a giant leap towards e-governance and realize the might of a new India we always dreamt of. With that being said, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Pratyush, for your very good presentation. It was a very good initiative by you. Just two queries. One is, what was your respondent size? How many respondents you have surveyed?
Ma'am, we have prepared 2 Google Forms for the online survey on which we have received more than 250 responses. Apart from it, we have personally interviewed using Google Meet, total 27 people. 16 was from Kerala and 11 was from Bihar. So this was the
another dimension. What I suggest you add is the income level. The GDP of those two states is very different. So literacy might be one very important aspect, but I think the income level of these two states is quite different also. So I think if you add up that also, that can also give you a more clearer picture on this kind of different usage of social media. You can look into that also.
Surely, ma'am, will do. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was a nice presentation and well-researched paper, I would say. Can you please show the slide which is on tele-density?
Yes, sir, just a second.
And it's a good collaboration. There are students from Kerala and students from Bihar coming together. And this is also good for national integration.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So what are you showing it? A number of telephone connectivity per 100 or per 1,000 inhabitants?
Per 100 inhabitants.
But if you look at the graph, it is already, that means there are inhabitants who are having more than one telephone connection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what I'm pointing towards. In Kerala, but in Bihar, it is like quite opposite.
Okay, okay. Now,
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I would like to know, see, there is everything is good about Kerala. I mean, most things are good about Kerala. Can Kerala learn one thing from Bihar?
Yes, sir. Sir, I was talking about.
What would be that?
Yes, sir. Just give me a second. So, this was. Okay, sir. Just a second. Yes, sir. This is the Garur app that I was talking about. Because in this COVID time, we have seen that a lot of migrants were stuck somewhere. So the Garur app and the Corona Sahayata app was the first of its kind in the entire nation. The Bihar government was the first to introduce these apps, which actually helped a lot of migrant workers in tracing them and also in providing providing financial assistance. So this is
but
something.
There was something in, I think it was the government of Odisha which started registering all the migrant workers who were interested to come over to Odisha.
Sir, if you can just read it. So, sir, it says first in the country, the Garur app has set a record of having to. So, sir, Garur app was the first one launched by the Bihar government in the nation.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure listening to the kind of research that you have done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. So do we have more questions?
Not from my
Monica.
side.
No, I think it's
Okay.
done and no questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
And
you,
then
ma'am.
Thank you,
further.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Analia, we can move
Okay.
further.
Yes, ma'am. So we are moving ahead, and our next team has Aditya Burman, Avantika Oja, Prisha Parikh, and Muskan Singh. And their topic is social media as an instrument in changing social dynamics, a case study on Connaught Place. Do we have team number 10 here?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You can start presenting.
Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. So, good afternoon. So, the topic that that was given to us was the use of social media as a research tool in geography, and this could have been interpreted in two ways. Either we could have used the method of our survey as social media, or we could have studied the effects of social media and the topic of our research. So, we chose the latter one and decided on the topic of social media as an instrument in changing social dynamics and did a case study on Connaught Place. So, briefly, we're going to cover the topics of the concept on which our study is based, the aims and objectives, study area, results and findings, and the conclusion. So, nowadays, we know that social media has become one of the game changers in popularizing a place and ultimately modifying it. So, each post on social media gives a different meaning to the place visible in the post and reaches to a much wider audience.
We have focused on two concepts for our study: place and self, and place and society. Place and self, in which self is the body and mind of an individual which makes decision about a place depending upon its subjective interpretation. When a person sees a post related to a place, it triggers a feeling or reaction based on either the experience of the last visit of the place or its interest if the person has not been there. This process has become a trending factor in determining how a person perceives a place. Place and society. Society is a dynamic structure where few components are excluded and few included. Early in 1940s, Connaught Place was majorly designed for Lutyens. With the construction of Palika Bazaar, a diverse category of income groups, street peddlers, transgenders, and others began visiting CP. With the inclusion of this diversity, Connaught Place has been modified according to the needs and the wishes of the people visiting it. Yet, as per one of our findings, there are few sections of people visiting CP who are not comfortable with the heterogeneous crowd present there. If we move on to our objectives, our primary objective is to study the concept of self, in which we will focus on the behavioral aspect of the individual being altered by various social media platforms. Our secondary objective is to show the shift in the diversity of crowd visiting Connaught Place through our study and the issues experienced by them.
Connaught Place, as study area, is one of the main financial, commercial, and business centers in New Delhi. Connaught Place is counted among the top heritage structures in New Delhi. This area is recognizable on any map of Delhi as a big circle in the middle with 7 radial roads and 6 blocks. We have taken this place as a study area because of its heterogeneous crowd, all kinds of business and brands, and presence of local vendors and multinational companies also. For this, we conducted two types of surveys. First was the market survey, and second was the individual survey. So, in the market survey, we managed to take both offline and online interviews. For this, various tools and techniques were used like pie charts, bar graphs, and trend analysis. We took two shops approximately from each block. As shown in the map, a total of 21 shops were taken for the survey. We basically wanted to know that how social media is influencing their particular brands and places. Next was the individual survey. A sample of 40 people who have visited Connaught Place was selected for collection of data through a questionnaire. Pie charts and bar graphs were used as statistical techniques. Through a secondary data survey, we saw that overall in India, Facebook is the most popular social media app. But when we catered to the age group of 15 to 30 in our research, people use texting apps the most, followed by Instagram and Facebook. The secondary data also revealed to us that just two tags of Connaught Place leads to a follower reach and impression of 11,592. The hashtags and geotags of the place helps in reaching a much wider audience.
So when we did the study, we figured out a timeline which also shows the shift of the crowd visiting Connaught Place. So this timeline goes like, Connaught Place was made in 1933 mainly to serve the elite and was built with a prominent central business district. Then in the late 1970s, Palaka Bazaar was set up, and this introduced Connaught Place to classes except the elite as it was a bargaining market. Then, now in 2008, Orkut, the first big social networking website, started in the country, and this introduced the place to anyone on the site and did not have any boundaries. Recently, in 2020, after the coronavirus pandemic and high rents, many of the shops were forced to shut down, but there were some brands who kept the outlet which was there in Connaught Place due to its prominent location. And this was one of the issues which was faced by the shops in CP during the pandemic. Our surveys gave both qualitative and quantitative results. So one of the survey which we did was individual survey of 40 people who visited Connaught Place. And 85% of the respondents found social networking sites to be either very useful or useful in exploring new places. We found out that all the respondents use at least some form of social media platform, and most of them open it multiple times in a day. The respondents share various information like individual pictures, social, political, and business views. The respondents um, would ask to rate a place in CP when they saw it on social media versus when they actually visited the place, and most of them rated the place either the same or more after they visited it. Then next, there were about 77% of our respondents who visited a protest, who witnessed a protest, and in CP, but still 66% of them visited the place again, and out of them, most of them got the information about these protests via social media and took part in the protests willingly. Most of the respondents feel that CP has lost its essence over time due to the heterogeneity of the crowd, but still think it is good for the place and are accepting towards the change.
The survey that we conducted next was with the shops that are situated in Connaught Place. We tried to select the shops which cater to all three income groups, which is evident from the first graph. Here, we can also see that the middle income group have the greatest proportion, which is slightly more than the high income group. From the second graph, we can make out that the oldest shop we interviewed was set up in 1943. And as just discussed, as social media came to India in 2008, therefore, since 2009, shops gradually started to use social media for their own advantage. The third graph here shows that most of the shops here use tactical method of social media promotion and have a proper team designated for the same purpose. The next thing that we investigated was how much do they invest in social media and how much do they get in return. Surprisingly, none of the shops get returns less than their investment. The graph below indicates the rating of a few social media platforms done by the shop managers. The rating of the website promotion is undivided and the maximum. The platforms least preferred are Twitter and LinkedIn. Lastly, we decided to ask them to rate the usefulness of social media in brand promotion. 65% of the shops from the sample size rated social media 5 out of 5. By using trend analysis method, we decided to find the trend of social media usage by the shops in CP since 2009. Here, it is evident that the trend of social media in promotion is positive and ever increasing.
Conclusion. Social media as a research tool has enhanced our understanding upon shifting paradigms between the human behavior and place. In our context, Connaught Place. In our study, we have tried to showcase how the emerging trends of social media are influencing human behavior vis-a-vis how the place is advertised and popularized on social media, which helps in forming the perceptions and making decision to visit a place. We also noted that multinational dominates the local shops at the latter, hasn't been able to adopt to social media marketing. Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. It was a very nice micro level research you have conducted. And just one query. What was the response of shopkeepers that whether the social campaigns have helped them to get more customers, or it is as same as usual as before?
Yes, ma'am. So, we had gone to CP itself to do the survey, and we had presented the questionnaire to them, and they had told us that social media marketing has really helped them gain a lot of audience, and the customers are of different kinds. Just with a simple tool, they can get a wider audience of all kinds, and they were happy to invest a little in social media because whatever result they were getting was more than what their investment was.
Yeah, Adya, can you go back to your objectives?
Yes, I'm just 1 second.
Hmm. So, how did you assess the first objective?
Ma'am, according to our first objective, we had aimed to study the concept of self. So our major focus was on the behavioral aspect and all those of stuff. So if we talk about how we assessed it, there can be two particular methods that we could have used psychological methods and try to analyze people and their perspective towards a place and on social media platform. So ma'am, if you but we actually took
Abhi
this
kya
step.
kiya? What you did in the present study?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, we actually tried to correlate with our geography and we actually asked people, uh, we had a particular questionnaire to them and we asked them that what kind of rating would they give to Connaught Place if they have visited it before, and what is their particular rating to Connaught Place if they haven't been to the place. Like I also explained in a concept that the perception of a person, changes. For example, like if I haven't been to Connaught Place, then for me, a person like me who is not from Delhi, I may feel that Connaught Place a very posh area and I should go and visit the place, but a person who is actually a resident of that particular place, for her or him it would be a normal thing. So it also depends upon the way how we perceive it.
Okay, and objective two?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, in this particular objective, we have tried to analyze the shift in the Connaught Place, like the shift of the diversity of people going there. So, in this, we actually did some kind of participatory observation, and also we tried, asked people that what kind of they have been seeing the particular shift, and not only that, ma'am. If in one of the PPTs, in one of this video, I mentioned it that in earlier Connaught Place was a Lutyens area. So as a result, majorly the marginalized or majorly the minor income group people were not actually allowed in that particular area because it was majorly a British area. But as this Palika Bazaar was formed, major walks of people began visiting it. And if we wanted to, as I told that we did some participatory observation. Also in our questionnaire, we have asked that what kind of people they actually see when when they go to CP. So from that particular perspective, the change has been there. Not only this, if we see social media as a platform in turning the crowd of the CP, it could be like people who are like mainly TikTokers. They make posts and videos in front of H&M and all those of stuff. And as Kiran sir also said, how we perceive perceive a place, that actually depends upon how that particular place is being presented on the social media post. Though the relevance of the place is not lost, like CP is CP, but that particular thing is still, but the diversity of the crowd is going there because of the social media.
Correct. Thank you. Very nice presentation, Bharat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very, really very nice presentation. And the most important thing is that you are very much clear about what you all wanted to do. There is a term called topophilia. Do you know what it is?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, there are two terms like topophilia and topophobia. So, topophilia is something when I have a particular feeling for a place. For example, I just give you an example of Bihar. Like I'm because of Bihar, I just give you an example of Bihar. Uh, Floods come every year, but people don't leave that particular place. Why? The reason being that there are some kiaris, they have some borders of their fields, and they know that if flood would come, that particular borders will be vanished, and they will be that particular thing would be ruined. As a result, because they have that particular feeling to that particular place, they don't leave that particular place, and they, when the floods gets over, they are like, no, this is our place. They actually fight for each and everything so that they don't lose that particular land. Not only this, if we see this hierarchical thing of land ownership and all those of stuff, why it is so? Because we have this particular feeling related to the land that we don't want to lose it. So that is topophilia. And if I talk about topophobia, so that is, for example, like I have been sitting in my home in lockdown, and first time when I went to CP for my survey, I was little worried that how will people see me. Like I was little worried, because this perception in my mind that CP is so posh area, how will I look, what people will think about me. So that comes a feeling of the fear of the place. So that is topophobia.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, ma'am, we'll move ahead to our next team. Okay. So our next team is have Arpita Nirvan, Shriya Tripathi, Gaurika Sharma, and Alam Ansari. Their topic is social media and narratives of disaster, a case study of Kedarnath. Do we have team number 11 here?
Yes, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone joining in. Respected jury members, I, on behalf of my team, presenting our research report on social media and narratives of disaster, a case study of Kedarnath. I hope my screen is visible and I am audible too. This presentation, thank you. This presentation consists of introduction, objective, study area, methodology, report of narratives, and then we have narrative segment, analysis of the report, and then conclusion. Kedarnath, Uttarakhand, one of the 4 pillars of Chota Char Dham Yatra, is one of the major pilgrimage centers in the country. The Char Dham Yatra attracts lakhs of tourists every year. This tourism suffered a harsh blow in June 2013 flash floods of Kedarnath, which killed thousands of pilgrims and left many stranded. Therefore, this is our attempt to analyze the spirit of tourists and their experiences through the use of social media. Social media graphic information can be interpreted as any piece of multimedia information with explicit or implicit geographic reference collected through the social networking web or mobile applications. Hence, social media definitely becomes special when it goes spatial. It is rightly said that social media has redefined communication and made it even better, especially during emergencies. The aim of the paper is to analyze the presence of people as Kedarnath on their visiting list, to analyze the experiences of the eyewitnesses affected by 2013 flash floods, and to observe the reactions of tourists with regard to the government intervention post-disaster. The present study is an attempt to assess the experiences of people in Uttarakhand in the wake of Kedarnath disaster based on surveys and extensive literature and documentaries review through geotagged images posted on various social media platforms. The study area selected for the present study is Kedarnath, Uttarakhand. Kedarnath is located in the Himalayas near Chorabari Glacier. From 15th to 17th June 2013, the Indian state of Uttarakhand and adjoining areas received heavy rainfall.
This has been one of the worst Himalayan tragedies in recent years, in which the actual number of buried people is not known as thousands are still missing.
The data for the research is taken from both primary as well as secondary sources. The paper adopts the qualitative approach of analysis, the narratives of Kedarnath through analysis of interviews of victims available on YouTube documentaries and news bites. We have also conducted the survey through Google Forms with the people who used hashtags related to Kedarnath. So, the primary data, such as the narratives of Kedarnath floods based on stories, experiences, and reviews of people acquired from YouTube, have been analyzed, and the primary data includes the survey through Google Forms, through Instagram, and Facebook. The hashtags used have been our hint for reaching out to people for the survey through online mode, and the data collected through this has been represented using pie charts, bar diagrams as per the need for analysis. Report of narratives. According to Chardham control room records, there were 26,000 people in Kedar Valley on June 16th. This is where the temple is located. Records also show that 39,000 people had left the valley that day for Badrinath, Gangotri, Yamunotri, and Hemkund Sahib. The government's figure of about 800 total deaths is too conservative. The number clearly is in many thousands. The Gangotri and Yamunotri highways are damaged at several places. The rivers have damaged the 36-kilometer stretch from Uttarkashi to Batwari at 6 places.
So, here are some selected transcripts which form an important part of our research. These show the horrendous and terrible experiences of some fortunate people who are alive to narrate their experience and could stand the atrocities of the disaster. We have analyzed about 20 of such clips, but here, due to space and time constraint, we have shown 4 of them. So, basically, 2 of the transcripts are of tourists, while 2 are of locals. These transcripts show the hard circumstances that they went through to keep themselves alive, the separation from their family, the mismanagement, and the crimes that took place in the shadow of the disaster, and the repercussions on the locals. So now an insight into the observation and statistics of the survey that we conducted using Instagram and Facebook. So these people, as already told, are those who have been selected through the hashtags mentioned in the methodology, 9 from Instagram and 4 from Facebook. So a total of 13 respondents we could reach. For the first statement, that is the importance of community involvement in disaster risk reduction, 9 people strongly agreed, 3 agreed, while 1 opted to be neutral. For the second statement, government must initiate disaster management program. 7 people out of 13 went with strongly agreeing, 3 simply agreed, and 1 was neutral, while another 1 disagreed with this statement. For this statement, do you think the government effectively managed the Kedarnath flood evacuation process? 46% of the people out of total said yes, government was able to manage it properly. 31% said no, government failed in doing that, while 23% of the people said maybe, but they were not sure. The other question, have you been to Kedarnath pre-disaster? The responses were 85% of the total said yes, while 15% said no, they have not been to Kedarnath pre-disaster.
The response for the question, have you visited Kedarnath post disaster, gives 54% of people answering yes and 46 of them answering no. And when asked about their opinion of not visiting Kedarnath post disaster, where they are given more than one reasons, 2 of them stated fear of uncertainty, 3 of them said they are not interested, 2 of them said they lost faith in disaster management committee, 6 of the respondents complained about the paucity of time, and 5 respondents said they will visit Kedarnath sometime in future. For the question, is role of social media crucial in understanding disaster preparedness? Majority of the respondents strongly agreed with the statement. When asked if disaster management has significant role post disaster, majority of the respondents said yes, disaster management has a significant role post the disaster. When asked if the infrastructure of Kedarnath is good enough to tackle such calamities in future, majority of them said yes, stating the infrastructure of Kedarnath is good to tackle such calamities in future. For the question about the transition of Kedarnath being a pilgrimage center to being a tourist spot, majority of the respondents were certain about the transition. These screenshots attached here are of our Google survey and the documentaries and videos which we have analyzed.
So, moving on towards the analysis of the observations of the documentaries, interviews, stories acquired through YouTube is as follows. So, the Kedarnath floods were cruel both to the locals and visitors alike. An important point is that had there been proper warning system regarding weather, some casualties could have been avoided for sure. For survival, people even used shoes to drink water, ate grasses, drank water flowing over the dead bodies, and even slept with the corpses. Due to emotional trauma, many victims admitted that they do not want to visit the place again. Post the disaster, the walls of dhabas, the shops, they were all covered with posters of missing people. People were not satisfied with the government's response post evacuation in searching for the bodies. The most important but not much covered darker side of the disaster was the fact that people were not able to get the relief material sent for them. Besides, there was a surge in crimes. Women, they were molested, people were robbed and killed as well. Now, observations are made using the survey conducted through Instagram and Facebook. So, there was a lack of basic infrastructure when the disaster happened, poor communication facilities, no dissemination of weather related information for public awareness. Besides, Kedarnath has become much of a tourist spot that.
Excuse me, your time is up, so please move towards the conclusion part.
Okay, so. So just one thing I would like to add that there has been optimistic analysis that the people have regained their confidence even after a tragedy due to an undeterred religious faith. Now moving to, please, Gaurika, could you please conclude this?
Way forward, what could be done? There are 4 categories to it: information dissemination, disaster management and planning, collaborative problem solving and decision making, and information gathering. Thus, we can conclude that social media is a broad term that encompasses technologies that facilitate the creation, dissemination, and sharing of content via online communities and virtual networks. Social media has proved to be an effective tool to analyze the narratives and way forwards. Had social media like YouTube, Instagram not existed, it would have been really difficult to conduct such a research during times of pandemic. This in itself shows how important social media is in geographical research. The narratives of the disaster shows that even after many years of disaster, the victims and eyewitnesses have not been able to cope up with its impact. The disaster has left permanent and indelible scars on their heart, and which are difficult to be cured. People want governments to take up effective steps and be responsible for such disasters to happen again in the future. We have a short video.
Weather has confounded massive sizes. उत्तराखंड में मरने वालों की संख्या 24 उत्तराखंड is devastated. पूरे उत्तराखंड में कम से कम it's a tragedy of human life. To the real heroes, our Jawans. So amazing tales of heroism. More than 8,500 Jawans are spearheading
Therefore, this is our interpretation of Kedarnath, a testimony of faith undeterred by death and destruction under the research, social media narratives of disaster, a case study of Kedarnath. This is these are all the references, all the work which have been included in this presentation have been credited in this bibliography. Thank you so much for listening to us so patiently. Thank you.
What are the measures taken by the government or what kind of awareness campaigns are there so that the tourism could be sustainable in that area? Is there any initiative on the social media for that? Because it is being a very important religious site, people have an intention of visiting it quite many times. So, is there any sustainable mode of tourism which has been developed or which has been suggested on the social media regarding this?
Yes, ma'am, please, if you could mute this different. Hello? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there have been certain developments done in this regard. As in, before 2013, there was no health checkup before people used to go to Kedarnath temple. But now, after 2013 disaster, these facilities have been set up where people are first, their health is being checked, whether they are in position to reach over there. Also, this weather dissemination, the information about the weather forecast and all is also being done, where policemen they announce about the weather and all, so that people beforehand they are alerted about any such mishappening. Besides, better motorable roads have been constructed and a lot more have been done in regards to infrastructure also.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question, judges? Monica ma'am, Sarfaraz sir.
Arpita, this is really nice work, and especially the kind of the qualitative methodology that you have adopted. It's a good piece of work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we are witnessing one good work after another. So for us also, it is quite a learning experience how to use, information technology, social media, and other new sources of data to do some very, very effective research works. And I think the future of geography looks quite bright. And I'm very happy to be here, actually. It has been a learning experience for me. And we have so much of energy and so much skill among our young generation. So this is indeed a very, very interesting way of looking at the reality, because you see, I was little interested about because most people who visit Kedarnath, they are mostly old people, because of religious reasons. So, do you really think that we need some specific initiative on the part of the government to that if one old man or woman is going, then you should have a person accompanying him? Is there something like that in case of Kedarnath?
So in one of our finding, what we saw was that in the previous times, it was more of a pilgrimage center where old people used to visit. Majority of the tourists, majority of the pilgrims were the old people. But now, as we are seeing the visitation data and all, we see that all like people from all the ages, they are going, and it is more of becoming like a tourist place rather than purely as a pilgrimage center, sir. So like in many cases, almost the old people are accompanied by their sons, their daughters, and even toddlers are also going. So there has been a shift from this particular being the pilgrimage center to being a tourist center.
I think that's a very interesting observation. Okay, thank you so much. It was really a very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, team. So this was the last presentation for today's NGOIC. So I would like to conclude this event, and for that, I would like to call Dr. Rashmi Rani Anand.
Thank you, Analya. So now with this, we have come to an end of the day one of the National Geographers Youth Conclave 2021. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to the judges, Ushvinder Kaur ma'am, Monica ma'am, and Professor Arun sir, and the wonderful audience we have. So we meet tomorrow again at 10:30 morning. Thank you all. Thank you, Ushvinder
Thank you very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Just,
Thank you, Monica ma'am.
Thanks a
Thank you,
lot for
Monica.
inviting us. Dr. Rashmi, just 1 second. Team number 2 did not come.